Hello, and welcome back to K-Works. I'm your host, Dave. I'm the only host on this one-man show, but maybe the future will bring much more people. I don't know. Who knows? This episode is about the Japanese plane that I'm building, the Kanna. I think it's called in Japanese. I'm not entirely sure. I really should look into that. I'm 99% sure on that. So this is a quick introduction into where we are now with that. I am making this introduction as I'm halfway through the build, of course. That's just how my brain works, apparently. So I will bring you along with that now. This space, which had the small table saw, is now free, which is excellent because I have a small bench, but the lighting is even worse than here, if it's hard to believe. So I will try and give this not introduction, more like run through here. Right, so what I did, and you'll see, I'm 99% sure I recorded it, was I cut some pieces of a mahogany old door frame, so it's very weathered, you know, it's old stuff, probably 1994 I think that house was built. And I cut two pieces of door frame, ran it through the thicknesser, and made a square stock. Then I glued two pieces together, as you can see, cut it all apart, cut these two strips off it, cut my primary angle for the plane, a secondary angle that the shavings are quite easily ejected, because I've had problems with that in the past in previous plane builds. So I find this relief angle, it makes it just much easier in life. You can clearly see here that this is quarter sawn mahogany, and a little bit of a gap there, but this isn't the final dimension. This is quarter sawn mahogany, which is, as you know, the best cut of wood that you can possibly get. It is the most stable. It will move. It will move. All timber moves as it expands and dries and stuff. But quarter sawn will move the least. It is the most stable. It is not susceptible to bowing in any way, or twisting, or any of that. It will move here very slightly, here even less, and obviously in the length the least. I think in the length it's like 0.1% or something possibly, whereas in this direction it can be between 5 and 10%, or that's what we were told in my apprenticeship. Anyway, so that all together, when you glue it all back up, is your plane body. Now I just cut the pieces of file that I'm going to use for the blade. These will be still a bit wet, so I'll just move this to the side. These will be beveled and then welded in just like this, and it's going to. I'm going to have to take it extremely slow with the welding, not with the welding itself, but I mean weld, take a break, let it cool, weld a little bit more, let it cool, because I want to maintain as much hardness as possible. Now I know that weld is not good steel. That is clear. But my thinking is, in fact, I don't even need these two. I need the cutting edge, and I need another piece of steel that will just fit into the body and support the edge. That is all. The fact that these two other pieces of steel are also hard is inconsequential, really. So I'll have the main cutting edge, and my reasoning is it will take me maybe the rest of my life to use a plane so much that I remove that much material from the blade. If I even remove half of that before I'm dead, that is a lot of material. That's a lot of planing. And I can't see, I will use this absolutely as often as possible. But for the most part, I go to my Stanley number 5.5 or my smaller Japanese planes. This is mostly a novelty for me because I love planes, love everything about them, love making them. Never made a blade before. So this is really just a novelty for me, really. And even on my Stanley number 5, I very rarely have to, I hone it. I very rarely have to take the edge back off it, unless I find a nail or a screw or something, which is very rare. So over the course of its lifetime, a blade won't be worn down that much. Now I am waffling. This is supposed to be a short breakdown of how this is going to be. So yeah, I'll stop waffling. Here, I want to keep my videos short and sweet. Now at the end of that video, you saw me cutting some steel for the blade. Now I was applying water periodically as I cut to keep the steel cool because I don't want to accidentally temper the steel, which would really, if I did, it would really affect the cutting performance further down the line. Now as I round out this video, I want to say thank you again. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch as I do this, as I learn. It's a great experience for me, and I hope you get some enjoyment out of it. So I want to say thank you again, and I'll see you on the next episode.